YouTube, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy LJ coming at you with another video. As you can tell by the title, we're going to do a pros and cons video of owning a Ford Fusion. I think I'm well qualified to give this pros and cons of this Ford Fusion. I had this car for 6 years. I bought this car back in 2016. It's now 2022. So we're going to I'm going to cover 5 things of the pros and 5 cons. We're going to start with the cons first, and then, matter of fact, we're going to do the reverse. We're going to start with pros first, and then we're going to do the cons. So, right quick, pause this video, hit that sub button, make sure this like button is blue. We're going to do a 3K giveaway at 3,000 subs. We're going to give away a free pair of Apple AirPods. So, you do not want to miss. Make sure you ring that bell. If you sub, make sure that bell is rung so you won't miss nothing. So, alright, let's get into these pros. Pro number 1. This car right here, I have a 2013 Ford Fusion, as everybody know who those who don't know. Like I said, 2013. It's now 2022, and this car is like ageless. It's like the body style has not aged a bit. Like when people see this, you don't know if it's a 13 or 15, 16, 17, 18. Like it's just like the body style fits every year. Like it's just ageless. The way these lines, these angles of the lines look, the way this car is made. Like it's just a real sharp, nice looking car, at least for what it costs. Like I was saying, this car is a 13, and it fits in with all the other cars that are newer than it. With the way these lines are just angled, it gives it a really nice, sharp, aggressive look. That I love this car, and I've noticed I've seen a lot of them on the road lately. So they must be doing something right with these lines and this body style. This is the year. 13 is the year that they switched from the first gen to the second gen. This is on the second generation where they changed the body style, and now they got the 21s that really kind of look almost the same, but the front is kind of different. But for the most part, it's still a Ford Fusion. You can still tell what it is. Number 2 is low maintenance. This car has been reliable to me. Like the maintenance on this car really don't cost a lot. Like if you just keep up with your oil changes, rotation of your tires, get new tires when you're supposed to, change your spark plugs, any kind of coolant and stuff like that, you will not have that much problem out this car. Like I would say, like it's really been real good to me. So that's pro number 2. It's like everything else. I mean, it has its little bugs here and there, but like I can say, it never left me like stranded or anything like that. Even when y'all seen my previous video where I got my turbo replaced, that car was still drivable. Like there was nothing wrong with it other than it just smoked a little bit on cold starts only. Only when I first start the car up in the morning, the only time it smoked. But other than that, it was still drivable, reliable. I didn't see a change in gas mileage when it was doing that. So this car is pretty much, like they say, built for it tough. But yeah, that's my pro number 2 for this car. Alright, my third pro is, there was a time when I had to put my car in the shop to get some work did to it when I got rear-ended a couple months ago, and I had to drive my Mazda 300 for a while. And I must say, pro number 3 for this car is gas mileage. The gas mileage versus my mother's V6 Chrysler 300 was a totally different world. Like I could drive for at least on the tank of gas 2 weeks in this car versus my mother's 300 on the same commute back and forth to work. It was mind-blowing, the differences that it made versus my car. This car pretty much right now gets, don't quote me on this, probably about 20 miles to the gallon. But it's the rising gas prices, I can fill the car up, and I won't have to go back to the gas station for maybe a week and a half or 2 weeks. Like I said, I do daily drive this car. This car is always being driven. It's always on the road. I make at least 4 trips to work a day in this car and other commutes that I have to make. So gas mileage with this car, you cannot go wrong. Long trips, it does amazing on the highway. I know from here, from my home in Lumberton all the way to Myrtle Beach, a full tank of gas I get there, I'll probably be a little over a half a tank, maybe not even that much. I'm just making this, trying to get it right for you guys. But like I said, the gas mileage of this car is amazing, and those of you who have one that's watching right now, you'll probably say the same exact thing. Alright, down to number 4 is the size. The size of this car, I can pack this car with 5 people, and we can ride all the way to Raleigh, which is 2 hours from where I live, and we can ride comfortably, leg room for days. I have been in some sedans where it was just no room in the back seat, but I can have a full back row and somebody in my passenger seat and they have room in the front for their legs and room in the back. Nobody's feeling uncomfortable. Of course, let's be realistic, depending on how tall the person or people are. But for the average height, like, there's a lot of leg room in this car and a lot of space in this car for everybody to sit comfortably in here. And in the trunk has a lot of space, even for like when I take my subs and stuff out when we travel, because I do use this car to travel when we go on family trips and everything like that. Like, I have a lot of room for luggage back there in the back. So like I said, they did a great job on space in this car, and it's quiet when like you're riding down the road. It's not a lot of road noise that you hear inside the car, which I love, because some cars, you know, that's one thing, is the road noise is like unbearable. But this car here, it does perfect on everything on the inside, if you ask me. So that's my pro number 4, is the size of the vehicle on the inside. My last pro is cost of this vehicle. I got this car, like I said, in 2016. The car was $14,000. I still had the original. What I paid right here, I don't know if you guys can see that, if it can focus. I got this car from CarMax. Of course, with tax and everything, you know what it costs to get a car. This car ended up being $16,000. But in 2016, I mean, I was looking at multiple cars, I ain't even gonna lie. So I was looking at getting the Honda Accord. For everybody know, I wanted the Honda Accord Sport. That Sport was gonna run me at least $20,000, and it had like 89,000 miles on it. So this car right here, I got this car with 19,000 miles on it. I only paid $16,000 for it, and it was used. So of course, you know, I went with this one. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I'm not gonna get. I know Hondas last forever and stuff like that, but this had more, like, perks to it. Getting this car had more stuff on the inside versus me getting that Honda. So it had the 8-inch screen on there at the time. It had the reverse backup camera, fog lights. For the price and being used, I mean, used cars are the way to go nowadays. I mean, I'm not buying a car brand new. I don't care what it is. But yeah, for the price of this car, for what it was at the time, you cannot go wrong with buying one. And they still right now, and it's crazy because right now, 2022, they're still going for the same price, probably about $14,000 to $16,000. Depends on where you get it from, and of course, you know, your credit score got to do a lot with what your monthly payments is. But we're not talking about that right now. But we're just talking about total cost of this car in general. Like, the price, you can't beat it. For reliability, $14,000 for a car that you probably ain't gonna have to worry about doing maintenance on years down the line. So that's my last pro for this car right here. Alright, starting off with con number 1. I don't know about everybody's Fusion in the world, but I know about the ones that I've seen in person that wasn't wrapped. So the pillars have a tendency to look like they're cracked. Like, I have mine wrapped recently. I'm gonna have to redo them over, but I had to re-wrap mine with tail light tint, because you do know they got the buttons on the other side where you can, you know, put your code in and blah. So that's why I did tail light tint, so you can still have access to those buttons without me cutting out a little square like you would do with vinyl. But the ones that aren't wrapped, like, I don't know if it's the sun, I don't know if water gets into it or what it is. I done heard different stories of why it cracks, but it looks like glass, like crackling all the way down, and that just gave the car like a bad look. When you know you have your car clean, washed, waxed, then you got these pillars that's cracked. Like, I don't know what caused it, but it just hurts my nerves, grinds my gears, whatever you want to say. I just hate it how that look when it's cracked like that. So I wrap mine. If you have a Ford Fusion and yours is cracked too, like I said, I recommend you can use tail light tint. I don't know about window tint, but I used dark tail light tint, so you can't see the cracks no more, but you can still access your numbers on the driver's side. So con number 2, we can start from outside, and I'm not gonna take you outside the car because you probably already know. They cheaped out in a lot of places on this car. Like right now, it lasted, but the center console is starting to get like a little crack in it. I know it's not real leather, because you can tell and you can feel real leather that's starting to crack. The steering wheel just feels real cheap. The material they put on there, I think it's the same material they put on the armrest. They could have did a lot better with that. It's starting to like peel, and it doesn't give you that good grip feeling. So I can see why a lot of people change to another steering wheel, and they are people that make them. Another thing, if you go along the side of your car and you just tap, and then you get down to the hood. The hood is very flimsy. It's a different sound. See, on the side is more of a solid sound until you get towards the hood. You can tell they cheap down a lot of places. And I felt like this car could have had push start on it. I know the newer ones, the titanium ones do, and Sport does, and there's I think there's a platinum version that has it too. It's just a lot of trims that I know there's one feature they could have put in the car was push to start, and would have made it a whole lot better. My last con number 3. This one is very dear to my heart. That, you know, doing YouTube, doing IG and stuff like that, I don't mind the messages, but finding aftermarket parts. Finding aftermarket parts for this car is like really, really hard. That's why I started YouTube, to help people out like me who I couldn't find aftermarket parts for. A lot of these parts are custom made, one of one. Like for you guys that be in my inbox and ask me about my custom made headlights, I didn't make those. There's not a link for them. The guy that makes them, he don't make them no more. I luckily bought these off of, you know, Joko Zuber with the Purple Fusion. Man, that's my good buddy. But stuff like that, and just any other little things that you have to really like research, know people, or like just really put the time in on the internet and try to find these like links and find these websites where you can get aftermarket parts from, because it's not as easy like, let's say, a Honda or whatever like that. Like finding custom parts for this car, finding aftermarket parts for this car is hard. So everything has to be either cut to fit or made specifically for this vehicle, or you have to like actually know somebody. So that's why I put aftermarket parts as my con number 3. That's my biggest one of all, is just the aftermarket part of it, because I know how you guys are. Most of y'all watch my channel are new to the community, so y'all be hitting me up and trying to find out where y'all can get custom made one of one stuff for. But look, like I'm gonna tell y'all, like this stuff isn't cheap. Like you're gonna have to pay for this like custom one of one. But with that being said, like versus getting some headlights off eBay versus getting custom made headlights, you're paying for quality. Like they're gonna work and last longer than some you get from China or something like that. So you're going to pay for this custom made stuff. But that's it. That's all I got for this video. I got more exciting stuff to come. So like I said, hit that sub button, make sure the like button is blue, ring that bell, help your boy get into the algorithm. It's your boy LJ, and I'm out. Peace.